What is going on, guys? Welcome on back to our second installment of our Star Wars The Clone Wars final season review series, where myself and my man over here, POISONkill, are going to be talking about each individual episode as they come, uploading them for you guys to go ahead and watch, consume that beautiful content that we put out, and just go ahead and start some conversation and just all that fun stuff about Star Wars. So we are reviewing episode 2 today. Second episode is called
A Distant Echo.
Ooh, okay, I like it. Also, Poison, how are you doing today? Glad to have you here with us again.
Good, my man. Good, my man. It's good to see you. Good to see everybody else. How are you doing?
All right. Good to see you too, man. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and second episode is gonna be a little bit shorter than the first one, because we're just gonna kind of be talking about this episode point by point, not obviously having to cover some other stuff, kind of introductory stuff. But
Our history. Yep.
First thing that I want to talk about, and I think this is something that I kind of want to talk about for each episode as we go, is like the opening quote, what we think about it. Opening quote for this episode is, "The search for truth begins with belief." I really like that one, actually. More than the last one. Yeah. And you wanna expand on that real quick? Tell me kind of why that is the case for you.
I think belief is the core for everything like that. Especially with Star Wars, where it's always trust in the Force, believe, but the Force is with you. The whole thing is toned towards meditating on the stillness and the power of the Force. So getting back to the core of Star Wars in this one, that's how I felt. Didn't feel like Kathleen Kennedy. It felt like Star Wars.
Yes.
Felt Yoda. I liked it.
Speaking of which, I'm excited to see Yoda whenever we do in this. I'm excited for all of it. Okay, but regardless, no, I'm with you there. I'm very much so. Oh, just really quick, in case you haven't seen from the title and the description, spoilers, okay? We're going to be talking everything about this episode. Spoilers.
Yep.
Didn't properly say during the last one. So, as we go through this, obviously, last episode left off, we know Echo is alive, or in some capacity is alive. And what I was very happy about in this episode was they chose to resolve that very, very quickly. They chose to move things through to get them to like what everyone wanted to see much quicker than I thought they were going to. I thought they were going to take this out over the course of like 2 or 3 episodes before we actually got to see where Echo was, and that ended up not being the case. Like we saw him this episode, and
it was super fast.
Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think I didn't feel rushed to me, because
it was the end of the episode.
Yes.
So they gave him literally 2 full episodes before he came in.
Yes. So yeah. I'm perfectly okay with it. And I'm imagining there's gonna be, so I'm already jumping ahead of myself. I'm wanting to get into speculation, but we'll kind of go ahead and go throughout the episode. Is there anything in particular that kind of stood out to you in this episode that you really liked, or really didn't like at all in any way?
Something I really liked was between 99 between the new characters and the old characters. There's finally tension this time. It wasn't just hey, look at these new guys, let's all get along and take out the CIS. It didn't feel like that. There was an argument, there was bickering, a point where Wrecker picks up Rex. I mean, there was some tension there. I'd like to see that the characters, again, back to the way Clone Wars is done so well, is right in tension and resolve very, very naturally. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I really liked, I mean, it was small and it kind of hints towards like obviously everything that is to come in this particular part of the timeline, but like the whole interaction between Anakin and Padme was good. It was very good. I liked it. And then Obi-Wan like making his snickering comment, "Did you at least tell Padme I said hello?" And I was like,
Anakin's face after that was just like, how did you know?
Oh man, it was good though. It was really good. And so part of me went, obviously in episode 3, like Obi-Wan just says it like, yeah, Anakin's the father, isn't he? Like,
he knew.
Yeah, he knew. But like, so part of me wonders, when did he find out? How long did he know before? Because like, had he addressed this earlier, potentially everything could have been avoided realistically. And so it's, I don't know. What do you think?
Having the snickering moments of trying to put Anakin in his place, could that have been part of what led to Vader? I mean, there's weird things like that, but no, I mean, him doing that, to me, it didn't fully satiate the desire of when did he first find out, how did he first find out, but it definitely put into place that we know before he's the father, isn't he? Before that happened, yeah, he knew. I mean, I thought that was just cool.
And I don't know about you, I thought that you, obviously we saw that little moment where they kind of like put their hands together with the hologram. It's so cute.
And we just go through each other.
Yeah. I'm curious, to me, when I saw that in the trailer, I actually thought that at that point in time, I thought that Padme was pregnant.
She was. She totally was. Because I actually watched that scene back. I just kind of rewind 15 seconds or whatever. She puts her hand on her stomach.
Yeah.
She very openly expresses to him, I'm with child. So I don't know if they've had that episode 3 moment. I don't think they have, where, you know, I'm pregnant, but she's kind of like him leading to it.
Yeah.
I think she's trying to subconsciously warn him, hey, there's something in the oven, you know?
Yeah. So I'm curious to know. I hope, I mean, I said this last episode, but I want there to be crossover between episode 3 and this last season. I can only hope. I can only hope, and we will find out as time goes on. I don't know how many episodes this season is supposed to be. I hope it's as long as the other seasons before it have been, because
at least.
Yeah,
they're trying to hope, or they're hoping to go out with a bang. So here's to them taking the extra if they need it.
Yep.
We don't need a rush season. We want this to be the conclusion without a early wrap in a movie 3 months later. We want, like, this is the end. We respect how much money and time you've given us. It's the final out.
Just let it go. Just send full send it out.
Yep.
All right, respect
it.
It
Is Disney. They
respect
do like
the pouch.
To let it go.
Don't hold it back anymore. Okay. All right. Anyways. Okay, I'm done with these Frozen references. So that was a moment that really stood out to me. Obviously, action and visuals, top of the line, stellar again.
Still top.
10
out of 10 again.
Have zero problems with that at all. And honestly, I don't think I highly doubt that I will come into any action sequence within the Clone Wars that I don't like. Because
for nothing other than the colors.
Yeah, for real. I'm looking forward to seeing some lightsaber duels though. That's stuff that I'm gonna be looking forward to. But anyways, so kind of jumping forward a little bit, moving through that kind of alien, that new alien species that we saw on this planet.
Well, not the bat. The bat wasn't new from Fallen Order.
Yes.
But the actual species, some of the droids were unfamiliar to me. Those weird looking things that like praying mantis their arms up.
Yeah. That was
cool.
Do we think that I imagine that these like alien species that we got introduced to, obviously not the Techno Union guys, we've seen them before, but this new species that we got to see on this planet, which I'm forgetting the name of right now, the name escapes me. But do we think we're going to see them again? Do we think they're just kind of like a passing thing, like so many other races and species have been in the Clone Wars series, or what?
I feel that they're going to be like the Utapauans, episode 3. You know, there's no war here, General. Well, you know, you've brought it to us or whatever. They kind of just came and went. I feel like that's what these guys are going to be. Hey, you guys like to Fallen Order? Wasn't it cool? Look at the giant bat. Oh, needs new stuff, and then they're done. I think that's what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Once they get Echo and Bounce, it's over.
Yeah. So obviously the entire episode is leading up to them getting to Echo, and then when they finally do, like they kind of they have this interaction with one of the guys from the Techno Union saying, "Oh, he's dead. His mind is ours." But then they find him, and definitely for sure he's like essentially being like maintained by cryostasis, essentially. His mind, he's
still alive.
Yeah,
he's still him,
barely.
But he was also reliving his last moments, the way he was talking, like trying to escape, you know. And then he's like, oh okay, I guess I'm here. Rex, you came back for me. Like, his brain perceived that a lot of time had passed, but it didn't know he was in cryo. It was just kind of reliving that moment. So will that prolonged trauma, is that going to really jack him up, I wonder? And then the knowledge of, hey, your knowledge was like, once he learns that, was being used to combat and kill clones, is that going to scar him and no longer ever be the Echo we knew before.
Well, and that's that's kind of what I'm wondering, and kind of moving on into the speculation, because obviously talking about like the individual stuff, there was just a good amount of action in this episode, but the meat of what we want to talk about is what is going to happen next with Echo. Like, Echo is very, very broken, and when he kind of came falling out in the way that he did, like in like his skeletal form, he has like complete, like no, obviously he has had zero nourishment whatsoever, and is being sustained only by technology, so they obviously didn't care about him in any way. But I'm really curious to know, do we think it's going to be a kind of like a sleeper agent type thing? I'm wondering if that's the direction they're going to take, or if this will be like a proper wrap up where they say like, yep, we saved him, that's it. Something tells me that there's going to be more to it than that.
There has to be. Okay, the sleeper agent thing is something I had not thought of. That's really good. I was thinking more of they're going to bring him back, and my next thoughts were, how broken is he going to be? You take it to a different direction, and I think I'd rather see that.
Yeah.
Find a way to get him back in there to kind of dismantle the clones. Wouldn't that be sick?
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. Like, we have, for all we know, they have everything they need to continue using the algorithm or whatever that they have.
Right.
So, because like who knows how long they've been actually using Echo's mind? How much useful data have they drawn from him, and can they formulate that into an actual algorithm? Yeah.
He might have been the test. Like, the algorithm said they're gonna go left. They check it with him. He's like, yeah, we probably would have gone left. Maybe now they just rely on it without that backup check, and it could still function. But without that confirmation, again, somehow we found out about the algorithm in the first place. Could the Republic take that and kind of, well, they're gonna think we're going left, so what if we just go, right of center or something? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it's gonna look, or even how technical they're going to get into it. I said in the last one, I'm hoping for more politics in this. Now we're talking the battle strategy.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep they're gonna go.
See, for me, like, I'm okay with the politics, and I would say like the politics within the framework of the original trilogy is something that I'm probably always gonna enjoy, just because I mean, like we talked about last episode, like the original trilogy has a lot of like value for us because we saw it as we were growing up. But I think personally I would want to see the personal struggles of the individuals, as opposed to like the continuing overarching like political issues that have to happen, because I feel like we've gotten a lot of that over the course of the entirety of the Clone Wars. Plenty of diplomatic missions that go south type of thing, that we see. I don't necessarily want as much diplomatic missions in this season. What I would like to see is, I want to see the individual like internal struggles that people are constantly having, and you can like even see in the trailer behind us, like, it looks like at some point Anakin might kind of snap a little bit. It looks like that Ahsoka's going to have her fair share of difficulties that she has to deal with throughout the season, and I want to see that type of stuff really compounded and kind of brought to the next level that I don't think the show, at least in the Cartoon Network framework, was probably ever allowed to go.
Yeah, it's true. It's a little dark.
That's what I want to see. Whether or not we will, I don't know. I don't know if Disney would have allowed them to do that. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But anyways, so that is kind of wraps my thought process on this episode in particular, and where I think it would be very interesting to see it go. I think the sleeper cell agent is something that would be, in my opinion, the best direction they could go. But I mean, everyone's got their opinion.
Direction. Yeah.
So that's my take on it. What would you give this episode a rating of out of 10? Go ahead and drop the rating time. 8 out of 10. Okay.
I'm gonna say 8 out of 10 because they didn't make us wait 7 episodes of filler to find out about Echo. Echo's out of the way. We have the rest of the season to figure out whatever the heck happens next. I like that.
Okay. For me, so like, I guess I should probably clarify. We never really talked about exactly, like, for me at least, when I'm giving something a rating out of 10, a 10 would be they did everything perfectly. I would not have changed a single thing about what they did. So it's very difficult for me to give something a 10. That is my standard for absolute excellence, perfection type of thing. So just so everyone's aware, I personally am going to give it a rating of, I'm going to say an 8 out of 10 as well.
There we go.
Probably could have been a 9 from me, maybe even a 10 if they, well, honestly,
10's
no,
pushing it.
I'm actually going to give it a 9. I'm actually going to give it a 9. And
Okay.
And the reason for that is because between the setup that they did last episode and what they chose to do with this episode, I think that they did everything they could to continue moving the story process along without rushing it.
Yeah.
So, I think they did the best for the best that they could for the framework of this episode in particular. But then I'm also kind of giving it a rating within the framework of like the season as a whole. I don't know. Maybe I'm cheating. I don't know. But
with 2 episodes, we don't have enough to begin to really. We don't have a lot to weigh it against. We have the old episodes. We don't have what is. So I think by like episode 8, we'll probably go back and reassess these.
Yeah.
I'd imagine that what is an 8 now could become a 10 because it bombs. Let's hope not. Or like Game of Thrones kind of feel. Or, you know, this 8 might become a 6 because it just gets so much better. The music, the characters, not just the graphics and the way things look, but the way things feel. The memories and the stories they tell that bleed until your next morning when you're waking up thinking, hold up. Was Padme pregnant? You know, those kind of things.
Yeah.
That, man, I think 8 and 9 are probably solid right now.
Okay.
I'd say we'll find out in due time.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Anyways, guys, I think that is going to wrap it for us on this episode. We kind of went talked about the stuff that we found interesting, all that fun stuff. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you do like what we're doing here, if you like this stuff, make sure to go ahead and share it with your friends. Let people know that we're making this content. If you guys want to check out the live streaming content that we do, make sure to check me out over at mixer.com/GeneralKolobi. And for you, Poison, go ahead and let them know where everyone can find you as well.
Mixer.com/POISOnkill, YouTube.com/RealPoisonkill.
All right. And that is going to wrap it for us today, guys. We will see you in the next episode next Friday when they release the next episode of the Clone Wars. Until then, this is the General and Poison. Tuning out.